All right, today we're going to review one of the albums that many people consider one of the best debut albums of all time. We're going back to 1987, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Let's go. All right, guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there right at the beginning. I am not a huge Guns N' Roses fan. I am not a huge Axl Rose fan.
What?
I think that perhaps maybe they're one of the most overrated bands of all time.
No way. No way.
But that being said, I have to be honest, and I have to say that Appetite for Destruction, in my opinion, has got to be the greatest debut album of that genre of music from a band during my era or any other era for that matter.
Excellent!
I enjoyed it that much. So a little bit of history with Guns N' Roses. My introduction to the band is quite a bit different than I think most people's would be. It was November 1987 here in Huntsville, Alabama, and Guns N' Roses were the then unknown, nobody had heard of them, opening act for Motley Crue on the Girls, Girls, Girls tour. I remember everybody excited about Motley Crue, and then who's playing with them? And it was this long name nobody knew, Guns N' Roses. I guess it's not really that long, but it didn't flow. It wasn't a known band back then. And I have to say that performance was extremely lackluster. Most everybody that I know from that time period walked away from the concert universally in agreement that Guns N' Roses was not very good. You fast forward just a few months and they have released Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the Jungle! They blow up big, and now the same people that thought that they weren't very good in November of '87 at the Von Braun Civic Center are now proclaiming how much they knew that they kicked ass and how much they loved hearing them at that show and ran out and bought their album, which I still to this day call BS on for a lot of people. But for me, an awful lot of respect to be paid to this album. Definitely one that you cannot have a discussion about great debut albums and not include Appetite for Destruction. Best song on this incredible album is Welcome to the Jungle. Welcome to the Jungle! And honestly, I don't know how you even consider any other song for that spot in the rotation. Much like Motley Crue's Livewire, this song comes in at a perfect 10. There's not one thing I think needs to be changed about Welcome to the Jungle, not at all. It's got that really instantly recognizable, awesome intro. The song is really fast-paced. You know, Axl is just belting it out. It's all the emotions, all the anger, everything a teenager was feeling at the time rolled up in one. And even 35 years of hearing this song in constant rotation over and over and over again. It's used in commercials. It's still played on the radio. It's used at sporting events. It still doesn't get old. Welcome to the Jungle, a perfect 10. And definitely the best song on the album. All right, so worst song. It's really hard to pick a worst song on an album that's as solid as this one is from top to bottom, but I'm gonna go with Anything Goes. Again, by its very definition, if there is a best song on an album, there has to be a worst song on the album, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the worst song is not a great song. That's kind of the situation here. It's got that quirky beginning. which maybe is a little bit off-putting and makes it rank just a little bit lower than some of the other ones. But honestly, there's not a whole lot that I can find fault with the song. Just have to have somebody in that placeholder as the worst song. And if I was going to have to pick one, anything goes. All right, so the most overrated song, and I'm ready on this one, Paradise City. And I'm going to tell you why Paradise City, in my view, is the most overrated song, not only on this album, but really of Guns N' Roses' entire catalog. And it makes no sense. I am the first to admit that it makes no sense that I feel the need to include this. I wasn't a big fan of this song even way back in 1987, 88. In what I can only consider the category of irrational dislike, this song falls in there, and the best I can tell is it's because of the music video. I really disliked the music video, and particularly Axl's white leather jacket with just the Guns N' Roses round logo on the back. I'm not sure that's a legitimate reason to vilify a legitimate platinum selling song.
That don't make no sense.
And I guess if I had to try to give an objective criticism, which is admittedly a bit of a stretch, it's that with Paradise City, I guess they sound like they're trying to make a radio-friendly hit, more so than some of the other songs.
You know, it's not all dark and Dungeons and Dragons.
It seems like a song that, you know, maybe was safe enough for radio, whereas the rest of the album was stuff dealing with the subject matter and so forth that you would not necessarily want to promote to try to bring the band to the masses. All right, in what is going to be the most controversial of all of my declarations from these album reviews, controversial in the sense that you're going to think that it's a cop-out, is when it comes to the best surprise on this album, not only have I given in and given it a tie, it's actually a three-way giggity, giggity, giggity tie. You have Night Train. I'm on the Night Train. You've got My Michelle. My Michelle. And you've also got Rocket Queen. You're Rocket Queen. All three of those songs are phenomenal songs. All three of those songs were performed by McCabrey.
We've never lost finals.
Back in the day. And I will tell you that I've always felt that they were grossly underrated, even back then. There's so many good songs on this album that it was hard for me to just find one that was, you know, the surprise. And again, they're songs that I was very well familiar with, so none of them like took me by surprise, like, oh, I didn't realize how good that song was. So that's why the cop-out and the three-way tie. Sue me. I know a good lawyer.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
So overall, not a huge surprise here. This one gets cranked all the way to a perfect 10. Guns N' Roses, despite the fact that I'm not their biggest fan and not Axl's biggest fan and not a particularly huge fan of his voice or his singing style, Guns N' Roses delivers an absolute clinic, 1 hour long rock fest that I think blends perfectly the lighthearted party nature of the hair metal with the more serious hard rock vibes that would become more prominent as we all got a little bit older as well. There truly isn't a bad song on the album. It is an album you can listen to from beginning to end without the need to skip or feel like any of them are filler songs or a waste of space. And I suppose it's a testament when a multi-platinum selling single like Paradise City can be considered you know, overrated or whatever. Yeah, this album has got more hits for Guns N' Roses than most bands end up having over their entire career. And it's just a really, really solid and raw effort from a hungry band from the streets of LA. I think they really kind of pick up the gauntlet from where Motley Crue kind of left off and really push it on through to the next level for the next generation of rock fans. You know, Sweet Child of Mine, we didn't even mention that. That's how good this album is. Sweet Child of Mine, one of their biggest hits, didn't even get mentioned until right here in the recap. It's got one of my favorite guitar solos of all time. So if you were looking for 80s hard rock and you want to be able to play something without having to worry about skipping over it or whether there's going to be any snooze fest, you're safe with this album as long as you don't have the parents in the room with the, you know, some of the language and stuff.
What is that?
And certainly the content of the subject matter on the lyrics, not for the kiddies, but rock and roll's supposed to be dangerous, right? And Guns N' Roses capture dangerous perfectly with their 1987 debut, Appetite for Destruction. So I just gave an album a perfect 10 ranking. What did you think? Did Guns N' Roses live up to the hype, or am I putting too much stock in it? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll keep doing the videos. I appreciate you watching Larry on Eric and Darrell.